From TMZ, cops in Texas have launched an investigation with the help of the FBI after a small town's mayor received a threatening package in the mail, which included a noose. My name is Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me a lot. If you want to help me and spend money, go ahead and buy my book. It is on Amazon.com, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued. That link will be in the description. I mean, I'm not even going to pretend to be ahead of the curve, but are we still doing this? The countdown has already started until the truth comes out on this story. And I have several iterations, several outlets posting the same stories that are just slightly different that I want to take a look at. But first, some of these comments, I mean, am I tripping? Are these bots? Are these people brain dead? Is this actually happening? The top comment, and it does have 41 replies, so maybe I should look at those too. But this person says, but racism doesn't exist, right? Okay. I mean, is she that out of touch? Are you going to walk right into the trap and say, oh, yeah, well, it's Texas racist? Like, bro, it happened. We've seen this for years. Obviously, the huge story is Jussie Smollett, but there was also like, there was a new, Bubba Smollett, of course, but then there was a rope at a construction site for, they were erecting a Walgreens or a Walmart or something, and then it all turned out to be fake, but they just keep doing it. So this person really thinks that this is a sign of racism. It's absolutely ridiculous. So the clock is ticking until the truth comes out on this, but I think people are hip to it. So even the likes of Kamoto and Bo Jiden aren't going to be tweeting, this is a modern day lynching. Well, the ship sailed. It's too late. And we're probably never going to get any closure on the Jussie Smollett situation. He can sit down and do an interview with Robin Roberts or whatever and cry and talk about Subway sandwiches and salads.
You know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You're going to Subway.
Subway is open 24 hours. Like, people kill me when they say things like that, because it's like Subway is open 24 hours for a reason. So that when you're hungry at night and you ain't got no food, you go to Subway.
And he's never going to face any consequences. In fact, he was sentenced to, 6 months in jail or something, and didn't do that because Auntie Kamoto let him out or something. I mean, it's just completely ridiculous. How desperate do you have to be, right? I mean, you're already the mayor. Just do your job. You're going to cry racism if you were already elected. And that, of course, has to be, I don't know if I winked there, but that has to be taken with a grain of salt because everything is up for debate now. It's not rocket science. You don't have to have an out of this world IQ to understand that this is more than likely a hoax. And do we think that the white, maybe likely Republican person running against him for mayor who wants him to drop out would do this and think that he's never going to get caught? Nobody's going to do that, bro. I'm truly not sure how this happened. But here's the actual article. And here's the kicker is what they're going to let you know. Cops in Texas have launched an investigation with the help of the FBI, right? And I tried to get in touch with the FBI when the entirety of Flatbush, Brooklyn was being terrorized by fireworks in the Summer of Love in 2020, because there's no way that hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fireworks got airdropped into a fairly lower middle class neighborhood and nobody wanted to think twice about it. And we've all memory hold it as though that wasn't happening. And if you want to get completely conspiratorial about it, they were the very same fireworks that were used to commandeer sections of Seattle in the Chaz protest with Raz Simone. I mean, it's a complete mess. But my point is the FBI cannot be trusted. So imagine when a guy like Mohammed Nuru in San Francisco or the assistant district attorney in LA face some consequences with the FBI. You have to be doing really bad stuff, right? I mean, you have to be corrupt to the core to have the corrupt FBI come after you. But again, that's a different story. Fred Burton, who's black, received the package Tuesday, which he says contained a rope fashioned into a noose, plus a note urging him to withdraw from his re-election race. He contacted authorities immediately. Oh, yeah, that was it. Look at that. Get out of the race now with a noose. Yeah, hell yeah. You're not welcome here, boy. How did you get elected the first time? It doesn't make any sense. The message couldn't be clearer. Reading, get out of the race now. And he probably should, right? All race hoaxes aside, most of these politicians are absolutely compromised and corrupt, right? And this is just part of it. He told ABC 13, especially on a black man's face. So it was a slap in the face, especially to a black man. Okay, bro. Sure, Jan.
Sure, Jan.
That he has to open up mail like that and see something like that. I thought we were better than that as a society. Yeah, well, I thought so too. And I'd be willing to bet you or one of your homeboys did it. Oh, there was the other story of a guy who destroyed his own like pizza or burger restaurant or something. It goes on and on and on, and they know they can get away with it. And this guy is probably a little bit better than Tiffany Henyard or Big Fat Phony Furious Fanny Pack Willis or Letitia James. And they know they're in the cloak of this identity politics, and they can do whatever the hell they want. So they just run a roughshod over everybody, and you can steal millions of dollars from the taxpayers, get the police cars repossessed, get the traffic light, I mean, all sorts of things. And they'll just say, and then what would she say? Y'all are black. Y'all are black.
Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman.
What, lady? Give it a rest. You're quite literally stealing, but you were under the impression that's okay to do because you are black. What? As for Mayor Burton, he's standing firm and refusing to drop out of the mayoral race. I don't know. I'd be willing to bet that people just don't like him. So maybe, I mean, A, he can cry racism, or B, he can get some sympathy points and try to convince the black people in his town that the white counterpart Republican, I don't even know, maybe he's not a Democrat. I'd venture to believe he is a Democrat, because if he were a Republican, they would probably say it, right? They would be crying like me, oh, this is a hoax, if he were a Republican. But he's a Democrat. That's my guess, right? Maybe you could do the Wikipedia on him or the town or whatever, but it's absolutely ridiculous. So they say, wait, did I forget the most important part? That it wasn't postmarked, right? The package wasn't postmarked. And with other inconsistencies, the Arcola Police Department wasted no time reaching out to the FBI for assistance. So the dead giveaway that he or one of his buddies did this, there was no postmark, that's a dead giveaway. And you decided rather than saying, okay, we're not dealing with this weird hoax, you decide to enlist the FBI because it was clear nobody actually sent this. So that's the crux of this. I may have gotten a little bit off track because this is absolutely infuriating. But the people on the TMZ Instagram seem to think this is real even after years and years of hoaxes. And then TMZ, to their credit, but the bar is really low, they admit there was no postmark. And then there's this one directly from ABC 13, which I believe is a Houston local ABC affiliate, and we know just how bad ABC is. I've made entire videos about it. Please go ahead and check that out. But as I understand it, they don't even mention in this article that it wasn't postmarked. A news delivery to Arcola City Hall has leaders on high alert. The threatening package was sent directly to Arcola Mayor Fred Burton, who is running for his fourth term in next week's mayoral election. The chief of police and Burton said, there's a typo there, having a noose delivered to City Hall is troubling. I pulled it out. Get out of this race now. Burton said it's a slap, especially on a black man's face, that he has to open up mail like that and see something like that. I thought we were better than that as a society. Yeah, well, I think so too. He said this campaign season has been challenging as the trail heats up. This election has been the most, I guess, if you will, nasty. But I won't let that situation, that mail, I won't let those type of racial, if you will, throwbacks affect me in this race. I'm so strong. You should Bro, give it a rest, man. You should have replaced this with your wife or something. I'm so strong. I'm not going to let this stop me. Erica, whatever, the chief of police, okay, just gonna go out on a limb here and say that's probably a black person. So you're constantly crying racism. We see the same thing, gentrification and racism, even though there's loads of higher ups, especially in New York and the Bay Area, where there's all black people and they're still constantly crying racism. It's absolutely ridiculous. Erica Carr, the chief of police, is taking the threat against Burton seriously. Why? Why are you taking it seriously? There was okay. As she called in the FBI to help investigate who did this. It's very troubling to receive. It's very disturbing that in 2024 we are still at this point of racial hoaxes. No, that's me. That's not what he said. We're still at this point of receiving this type of mail or someone doing this type of crime. Okay, bro. Carr said they have increased the mayor's security because of the threat. If you have any information, and look at that. I have cried about ABC being amongst the top of the fake news purveyors in the entire media landscape, and that's saying a lot. I mean, they are all absolutely terrible. Of course, MSNBC and CNN get all of the hype, but ABC, NBC, I mean, it never ends. These people are absolute scoundrels. But ABC is among the worst. You have the Epstein-Disney connection. You have the George Stephanopoulos connection, who literally worked for the Clinton White House, was his fixer, lambasted Nancy Mace, donated to the foundation, refused to disclose that to the audience.
He admitted that he donated $75,000 to the Clinton Foundation and failed to disclose it even as he reported on the controversies surrounding the foundation.
But I should have made additional disclosures on air when we covered the foundation. And I now believe that directing personal donations to that foundation was a mistake. Even though I made them strictly support work done to stop the spread of AIDS, help children, and protect the environment in poor countries, I should have gone the extra mile to avoid even the appearance of a conflict. I apologize to all of you for failing to do that.
I mean, it's just a complete mess. But my point here is, even in the other articles, the TMZ articles, they tell you, well, it wasn't postmarked. And for some reason, that's even more of a cause to get the FBI involved. That doesn't make any sense. But ABC leaves out that key detail that it wasn't even postmarked. It's quite obviously a hoax. And this coming from a man who's not an expert FBI investigator. And because I'm not an expert or a shiny suit and tie wearing local news talking head, this is from KHOU Houston. And I think they're going to break it down a little bit further for us.
An investigation is underway after the mayor of the city of Arcola received a package Tuesday with a noose inside and a message demanding that he drop out of the mayoral race.
And can we just say really quickly here, as a new Texan, right? It's been absolutely fine. I have zero complaints. I mean, I did get pulled over like the first day I was here because I had a tail light out, and I think I drove halfway across the country with one, did I say tail light? I meant brake light, with one brake light. But I think we all can agree that there's constantly more racism and or perceived racism in the bastions of leftism because they are harping on it nonstop. As somebody who grew up on a golf course, I don't remember ever seeing that. But now it's supposed to be around every turn. But I digress. That got weirdly personal. Let's continue with this.
Race.
Now the Arcola Police Department is requesting help from the FBI. KHOU 11's Julissa Garza spoke with Arcola Police and joins us live with what.
Yeah, we better call in the FBI, right? We have all the details we need. Something showed up in our mailbox and it wasn't postmarked, but we better get the FBI on this. Otherwise, we may never know. And then they have I don't want to make ad hominem attacks, but they get this like weird lady who looks like a plum to tell us more about it. Okay.
She's learning about all this. Julissa.
Well, the Arcola chief of police tells me that she's never seen something like this happen in the city before. She adds that this is a serious crime and they're treating it as such.
No, it's not. It's literally not a crime and it's not serious. And she's probably never seen it because nobody's ever done it before.
Now, according to Arcola chief of police, Erica Carr, the package was...
Oh, and there you have it. Eric, look, I am for all people, right? I have zero qualms with anybody, but it was pretty clear when the name Erica A-I-R-K-A or whatever, is quite clearly a black person. And just, I want to make it crystal abundantly clear that we all have parts to play in this demise, right? Some people want to blame it on a certain group of people who may or may not have control of everything, and that's certainly part of it. And there's also the awfuls.
The awfuls, the affluent white female liberals in the Democrat Party, and that they're so divisive. The ones focused on making sure that your children have hormones because they've decided at the age of 10 that, well, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl, or vice versa, something to that effect.
Right? They are a part of it. There is the 13 or maybe even more extreme, like 6 or 7% crew that is committing loads of the crime. I mean, it's coming from all angles, and it's just weird that we try to constantly, blame this or that. And like, yeah, you guys are all to blame, okay? Kids, you're all just awful.
Kids, you're both just awful.
Just have a little bit of common sense. That's all you need. And we don't even need to talk about like, it's human decency and it's a humanitarian crisis. Just inject some common sense that for whatever reason you threw it out the window. Go out there, clean it up off the floor, and put it back into your brain.
Was part of incoming mail just before 5 p.m. on Monday. She says Tuesday morning is when Mayor Fred A. Burton opened it and immediately contacted the chief. She tells me she was shocked when she learned what was inside the package.
Could not believe, like, in 2024 that we're still dealing with these type of issues. And that someone would actually mail a noose to the mayor.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, right? It's unbelievable. Probably because it didn't happen. I mean, are these people really that stupid that they're just ready, willing, and able to believe a quite obvious hoax immediately?
It was very disturbing, very troubling.
Chief Carr says the package was delivered by the post office but wasn't postmarked. That, along with other inconsistencies, led the police department to reach out to the FBI and the Postal Inspector's Office.
Are they that stupid? They thought, well, we'll just track the return address and we'll find out who sent this hate mail. But since there's no return address and there's no postmark, we better get the feds involved. I mean, there's no... I thought Texans had a little bit more sense than that. And perhaps they do. And it sucks. It actually sucks that this is perpetrated by an old black guy. Bro, you're already the mayor and now you're crying racism. I can only assume because people don't like you and your days are numbered.
For help in investigating this. Now, the mayor of Arcola is currently seeking his re-election for a third term, and election day is on May 4th. The chief tells me, though, that...
She said third term. I read it in one of these articles somewhere that it's actually a fourth term. Neither here nor there.
The mayor does not plan to drop out of the race. Live in Arcola, Jalissa Garza, KHOU 11 News.
He's so strong and brave. Look, they sent me a noose and told me to drop out the race, but I'm not going to do it. What, bro? Give me a break.